this side.
Mr. Mayor, council members, thank you so much for this opportunity tonight. My name is Stephen Reeves, and I serve as Legislative Counsel for the Christian Life Commission, and we're the Ethics and Public Policy arm of the Baptist General Convention of Texas. Thanks to each of you for having the courage to slow down this process and hear from the concerns of so many in the community. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to thank you for your comments following the last public hearing, recognizing the obligation to consider the unique needs of the faith community and make every effort to minimize the impact. The Council's receptiveness to public input is one of the most important benefits of having a municipal utility. As the acting board of Austin Energy, you have the opportunity to reflect the values of the community in your policy decisions and not look only at the bottom line. Another long-standing benefit has been tailored rate classes that take into account the needs of customers in ways rarely seen in the competitive, deregulated market. Many members of the faith community support the concerns raised about the impact of the higher rates on the low-income Austinites. And while we appreciate Austin Energy's willingness to revise their initial proposal, the adjustments for houses of worship do very little to address the fear in the faith community. All of the previous concerns we've raised still apply. There is a disparate, unfair impact on Austin's houses of worship under this proposal. To select one class of users and single them out for an increase far and above all others is bad public policy. Austin Energy has had a sanctuary rate class since at least the 1960s. To reverse over 50 years of rate policy in one fell swoop seems incredibly unreasonable. While I understand this has been a long, open public process, I testified before the EUC on October 3rd. You would think that with such a drastic reversal of a 50-year-old policy, there would have been a coordinated outreach to the faith community, but there's not. In the new proposal, as you know, small commercial customers, including houses of worship, not exceeding a peak usage of 10 kilowatts per month, will be exempted from demand and electric delivery charges. From the data we have been able to obtain, of the 621 houses of worship being forced to the commercial class and experiencing demand charges for the first time, only 41 would see relief from the new proposal. Of the several dozen churches that we have generated bill projections for, none of them would see any benefit. The smallest church we calculated projections for, which shares a building with multiple congregations, exceeds 10 kilowatts during the summer months and would therefore not benefit. Councilman Spellman, we greatly appreciate the attention and consideration you have given to the needs of houses of worship under your detailed starting point for a rate design. Exempting weekends when calculating peak demand for purposes of assessing a demand charge makes sense, since peak demand for the system never falls on weekends. Time of use rates could also prove to be a workable solution, but in both cases, more data is needed. It has been said before, but I want to stress to you again the type of social service benefits churches provide in the Austin community. I have delivered this evening, and I believe you'll receive tomorrow, a copy of a letter from Hake Parrott, the CEO and president of Capital Area Food Bank, that states that of the 300 partner agencies that distribute food and house their other social service benefits, 50 are churches within the Austin Energy service area. The food bank is concerned that significant rate increases for so many of their vital partners will have a detrimental effect on their ability to carry out their mission. As one other example, First Baptist Church of Austin, my church, provides yearly cash support of $40,000 to individuals and other Austin area nonprofits, and has done so for more than 20 years. This is in addition to the hundreds of volunteer hours completed by congregation members. I want to point out two areas of frustration I've had with Austin Energy. First, on slide 12 of their new proposal, this is the chart showing the effect on small houses of worship. It only lists the increase that would be seen under phase 1. They're proposing a 3-step phase-in. Why not include all 3 phases on this chart so the true impact can be easily seen? It is as if they would have us believe that you're not voting on phase 3 right now. Also, I keep hearing that we are focusing too much of our attention on percentage of increase and not on the actual dollar amount. And I understand what they're saying, I get it, but it's frustrating because in what other rate class do they make this distinction and make this statement. If low-use residential rates were going up an average of 80%, would citizens be told, oh, don't worry about it, it's really a small dollar amount? Would other commercial customers be told the same thing? I think not. Finally, from my perspective, Austin Energy either does not know or is unwilling to share what the true impact will be for houses of worship. El Paso Energy made the same mistake, only to have to revise their new rate at the PUC when the true impact was felt by the community. Austin Energy seems to have been hoping that churches were not paying attention. If any other rate class were to experience the kind of rate shock houses of worship are facing, we would not be having this conversation right now. I believe a solution would have long since been worked out. Thank you very much for your time and attention.